Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hope this one is good. Testing 1 2 3. The Veneto Club. It's a very dark night. Surrounded by trees on all areas. This promises to be quite a good game though. Boroondara top.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Good evening, wherever you are watching in Victoria, around the nation, or around the world, and welcome to the darkened evening of a mild, mostly marvellous, and a very, very glowing Saturday in Melbourne. The kind of early March magic we only get in this part of the world at this time of year. Welcome to a bustling Bulleen, and welcome to match day 5 in the Senol National Premier League Victoria Women's, on a glorious night and for a fixture in Melbourne's northern quarter, which for both sides holds pivotal importance. Boroondara are one of the early pace setters in the season so far, flying at the very start of the campaign, only toppled from top spot by Box Hill's win last night. 4 wins from 4, they can ensure and usurp Box Hill and re-establish that 3-point buffer at the top of the table. And last week they were emphatic away at Preston, convincing and crushing on an away day for them to remember, and one which affirmed early season aspirations. Heidelberg, on the other hand, ventured to the Veneto club, hoping it can provide refuge from currently vicious waters. Still without a win following an unusually slow start to the season, tonight is a must to get themselves going and steer the ship back towards where they want to be. My name is Ethan Rigg, and welcome on quite a calm, a slightly crisp, but an overall clear and cracking evening for football here in Bulleen. Let's run you through the two teams as we approach kick-off. 3 changes for Boroondara as they look to go back to the top of the table from their previous win at Preston. Madeline Rees drops out. She's replaced by Madeline Dara. Taylor Wolfe also out, replaced by Emma Olsen, who returns to the matchday squad, and Mia McGavigan also makes her way out of the team. For Heidelberg United, a change-laden side, a quartet which have been interchanged from that defeat last week. Razumic out for Plants, Gertz out for Salesi, Juric out for Shelchinitsky, and Bidwell in for Bailey. So a change in between the sticks. And we'll take you through the starting lineups. For the hosts, Mia Mossman retains her place in goal. Sarah Brunner, who's been in fine goal scoring touch. Kanako Higuchi, Bridie Cooling returns to the side. Emma Vane, Genevieve Fontes, Coco Parker, Priya Savarirayan, Zoe Bennett, Shantayan Herford, and of course Madeline Dara. For Heidelberg United, who are on their travels, Nali Plant, Aya Sasaki, Hayley Gertz, Rosie Wild, Mia Hyson, Minoria Kima, Addison Broadbent, Samantha Kerwood-Wagner, Alyssa Shishinelski, and Anneli Bidwell and Juan So round out the starting 11 for them. We are underway at the Veneto Club in Bulleen. Boroondara know that tonight is a must. Box Hill unrelenting in their hunt for the top of the table, in their hunt really to go again in 2026, whereas for the Eagles, they are looking to soar in the early season. They haven't been at this height for quite some time. It's been a minute since they have dreamed of being top of the table and dreamed of being in the hunt. They'll be helped by some results going their way earlier today as well. It gives them the perfect fuel. It would give them a 3-point barrier right where they want to be. 5 wins from 5 is what approaches them this evening. For Heidelberg, very much unfamiliar territory. The reigning premiers at the moment hurtling towards and steering just above the relegation zone, and in desperate need of a point. Tidy touch round the corner from Fontes for Vane, who was quickly on for Bennett, and already Boroondara look to charge. Savarirayan floated an early ball in. Heidelberg can't quite get it clear. A really chaotic penalty area, and it's cleared only as far as Higuchi, who starts the next wave. Boroondara wanting a rapid start. Higuchi once more. Bennett, Savarirayan tried to steer it towards Fontes. It was flicked away well. Retreating to keep it alive was Brunner, who charges beyond Kerwood-Wagner, and her cross teasing towards the near post gave Parker one to chase, and Sheshelnitsky's first piece of action for the evening is quite the easy gather. Perhaps earlier than she would have liked, however. Her search long. Higuchi, happy to recycle through Cooling, who clipped it well on the other side. It's a beauty of a ball, and Savararayan has another chance to go, and she is charging her way down the right-hand side. 2 on rushing into the penalty area, 1 on the late run. It was cleared away with a diving header. The sliding challenge then prevented Vane from getting in on it, and Kerwood Wagner wanted to steer one into the channel. Was unable to find anybody. But Higuchi, who was in retreat and did well to go and win it, and then gave Parker one to slide in on, which he did so to good effect, and poked it on for Brunel. It's a brilliantly won battle. Brunel has wriggled her way beyond Hyson, and still charging and going, and the shots trickled wide. But a golden glimpse for Brunner inside the opening couple of minutes. Exactly the bright start that Boroondara were looking for. It was the good read from Higuchi in ahead of Seo. The kick started the counter, and the second it was won that 50-50 to find Brunner. There was only one way she was going and one thing she was planning, and she does well to cut out that ball for Bidwell. This a fixture that, despite being in rocky waters, Heidelberg come into with some optimism. History favourable towards them in this encounter. And it was last season too. They did the double over Boroondara. They won here around this time last season on what was opening night back then. 3-2 in a classic of a game. 2-1 down with 5 to go. Boroondara must have thought they had it won. And then 2 late goals ensured Heidelberg found the win. And now Sio's got a yard. Momentarily, but Higuchi came across to go and shut the door. And then followed that up with a much more maligned 4-0 win at Olympic Village. Both teams trying to find each other through the flanks. That's a poor giveaway from Mossman. And the effort really in the end from Kerwood Wagner lacked a lot of sting, and it lacked trouble for the Boroondara shot stopper. Quite a balmy atmosphere in Bulleen this evening as Higuchi found Parker well, who steered it on for Fontes. And the challenge coming across from Wild was a good one. Thus far, though, Boroondara have just taken the ascendancy early. A side chasing their best finish for some time. Parker, that's a sharp swivel as well. And when wanting to thread it for Fontes, the ball had too much venom. But that is the kind of balletic brilliance that she possesses. A lovely turn, but the ball just didn't come to fruition. But since their promotion in 2022, a second place finish is the best Boroondara have managed in the season after. And now Brunner is lurking at 2 centrally. It was set back for Parker. A real scramble and blocked on the line. Cleared only as far as Fontes, who curls and crashes the bar. Parker gets another look and fires it straight into the arms of Shelshonitsky. A trio of Boroondara opportunities, neither blazed into the back of the net. A real flurry from the side chasing the top of the table this evening. It was set back for Savararayan on the first attempt, who then left it for Parker. Fontes hit the bar and Heidelberg get away with one. Seo couldn't steer it further forward. It was read well by Higuchi and equally so by Akiyama in retreat. And now Hyson wasn't quite able to place it into the path of Broadbent. A rapid start from the side, who this evening can just give a reminder to Box Hill that this is going to be a race that, even in its early stages, will be run deep. Throw in targeted Fontes. It was one well in the end and steered down the line for Sio. But the tidy foot in from Cooling prevented her from going further. Heidelberg just wanting to gain some control, having been rocked, and that's a lovely clip over the top, and now they might have an opportunity of their own on the break. Lovely ball to the back post. Kerwood Wagner's got a yard, had to set it back. A curling effort, oh, it's a beauty! A Sasaki screamer, and Heidelberg have themselves in front. Wonderfully whipped, devilishly dipped, and the Burgers lead on the road. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The spark that maybe not just their evening, but their season needed. Scored with supreme skill. My word, that's a deft touch. Finished with a flourish, and Heidelberg, who moments beforehand were nearly behind, now have themselves in front. Although Bidwell gave it away momentarily to Fontes. Call not once but twice was wild. Brunner wanted to return it for Bennett. Wild came and intervened and got herself out of pressure with so much poise. And they might have an opportunity to go once more. Again threaded. This time Sio's got one to chase. Has options streaming. Kerwood Wagner was again at the back post. Sasaki was making the late run. And in the end lost out to an expertly timed challenge from Higuchi. And it's quickly speared towards Savararayan, who's got the entirety of the right wing to charge down. Brunner was lurking. She was momentarily on her own. The touch set it behind her, tried to steer it back for Parker. And Heidelberg find a way to clear. Akiyama harrowed it away. And now they've got an opportunity down the left-hand side. Sio was charging centrally. Kerwood Wagner towards the back post. Again intervene, Sasaki, Sio. Kerwood Wagner tried to go the long way round. Sio momentarily thought about it. Moved it on for Kerwood Wagner. Sustained Heidelberg pressure. Ball cut out well, not once but twice. Helped on its way by Fontes, only as far as Bidwell. Tried to steer it in the channel for Kerwood Wagner, but wasn't able to do so. And Higuchi's quickly across to mop up. Cooling. Try to work their way again down that right-hand side. Again, Heidelberg have stood firm so far. Herford and Savararayan had Bennett centrally, chose to return. Ball speared for Fontes. And read well in the end by Hyson. And then gets it back and is pressed by Parker immediately. Forced onto Wild. Sheshelnitsky asked a lot of Bidwell in the end. And Boroondara looking for a response in quick time as well. Heidelberg wanting to hold firm, maybe ride out a storm that could be coming. Sio with a tidy touch, got away from Higuchi and dropped it off for Kerwood Wagner, who has sent one into the channel and given one to chase. Plant wanted to go the long way round. A diving challenge from Cooling allowed her to do so. Higuchi the only one there to meet the cutback, and Cool, ever so cool to find Vane. Now Dara. Threaded for Brunner, who let it run. But it was well telegraphed in the end by Sasaki, who's happy to drop back. And Sheshelnitsky, without much option, had to clear. Brunner has posed some threat early It's to be expected. Someone who has hit the ground running, the American from the University of Virginia, 5 goals in her first 4 games, has really taken to life as an Eagle and spread her wings. Higuchi with a good challenge. Broke the way of Sasaki. That's a spearing ball and a beauty as well. Plant with one to chase. But again, Boroondara are able to stifle out the danger. Cooling. It's a lovely ball to find Brunner, who couldn't quite get it out of her feet. Hyson. Clip for Seo in the channel, who had just worked a yard on Dara and has now got room to charge. Seo looking for an opening. Heidelberg looking to hit on the break once again, but the flag is up for offside. But that is how quickly they've been able to expose Boroondara on the counter and really break away. They've had their most joy down that left-hand side. And have caused a lot of problems. Hereford hasn't been afraid to get forward, and thus has opened up the space for Plant to get in behind. A similar sequence that led to the opening goal. Steered round the corner by Akiyama. And a good challenge from Bennett with a hand from Hereford, who was in retreat. And for Heidelberg, reigning premiers, uncharted territory at the moment this for an illustrious club. As Parker wanted to steer around the corner, and Brunner has broken away. She is through on her own and scores. Of course. A fine finish. And Boroondara have ripped themselves right level. A blistering breakaway. Parker's ball broke to Brunner with a bit of fortune. But she made no mistake. And Boroondara, in next to no time, have got themselves on terms. Number 6 for the campaign, and continuing the trend of scoring in every single game this season thus far. 5 in a row now. She goes in pursuit of the golden boot. And that is right what they needed. Just when Heidelberg thought they'd ridden out the wave, when they were starting to settle, a lapse combined with some misfortune gave Boroondara a golden avenue back into the game, one which they never passed up on. Again, speared forward for Parker, nodded away by Wild. Sasaki with composure, clipped towards Kerner Wagner, who had to give chase. Dara happy to recycle all the way to Mossman, who again wants Brunner. She's the one to go through. Bidwell tried to steer it. Vane won in well. Parker dropped it off for Fontes. Tried to thread it in the channel. Bidwell nodded it, as did Wild. Heidelberg forced to clear. Under immense pressure, Broadbent could only find Higuchi, but Boroondara themselves are forced back. Cooling. Ever so cool. Bennett dropped it off for Hereford. The return was stifled out well and read well by Akiyama. Now Broadbent. Wild. Heidelberg just providing some calm. So it was a momentary frantic situation. Hyson refinds Wild, who was again pressed by Parker. And important to have those two. They're integral in the Premiership winning side last season. The spine of the team ever so important to keep intact for this Heidelberg side, who had had some turnover in the off-season. Throw down the line for Plant, who shielded well. Ball for Kerwood. Wagner had too much pace. Mossman quickly off her line. Hammer towards Fontes. who couldn't get over Akiyama. Wild then recycled, and the flag was up for offside. Hyson's in a hurry. It's a spearing switch for Bidwell. Steered it down the line for Seo, but quickly across to nip in was Dara. Hyson, and Parker was lurking and then went and won it. Brunner, Fontes, set back for Dara, who had a dangerous one which was cut out by Kerner Wagner. And Cooling maybe spared Dara's blushes momentarily. Savarirayan given one to chase. Broadbent did well. Wild, who had room to turn. Now Broadbent, who's got room to charge. Savarirayan was quick to drop off, and again, Cooling read the game with expertise. Savarirayan. Herford had advanced. Went to clip it into the channel, gave Parker one to chase. Wild having to ward her off. Sheshelnitsky cleared. Suzaki's flick only found Vane, who was retreating, and Cooling's happy to cool things down. Higuchi. Patience for Boroondara. As Cooling clips in the channel. Broadbent nodded it on. Suzaki dropped it off for Wild, who went to thread, and it was cut out well by Brunner, who moved it on for Savarirayan, whose touch evaded her just at the wrong moment. There's again room for Plant down the touchline, who thought it had stayed in, gave a momentary glance, and then ran out of room while doing so. Heidelberg will be happier with how this way has started. Only a singular win for Boroondara in this fixture. 8 Heidelberg victories. This is the 12th meeting of these two sides. How they would like to double their victorious intake, the hosts this evening. That was brilliantly done by Seo, who dropped it off for Bidwell. And Hyson, that's a lovely ball, and Bidwell has continued. Seo was the only one charging, and Mossman. Ball was already out. She was there to gather for a goal kick. Must have been a certain moment for her. Gucci searched for Fontes, who might get away from Hyson. Brunner kept it alive. And then Parker was charging down the channel and was found well. The cutback had no one centrally bar Wild. And Heidelberg worked themselves out of a precarious position well. Hyson happy to clear her lines. And Higuchi happy to reset. Seo's press in vain. Higuchi once more. Had Brunner drop off, went spearing for her. Found Parker instead, who was the one further. Now dropped off for Brunner, who gave Bennett one to chase. Wild one up. And now Bidwell once more. Kerwood Wagner. This is much better from Heidelberg and incisive. Steered for Seo, who stood it up to the back post. Mossman was on shore. It fell almost fortuitously. A scramble and chaos. And then an effort hammered over. Gertz had a look. Wasn't able to apply a finishing touch, but Boroondara just momentarily, as Mossman parried. Perhaps a fraction nervous, especially when it fell for Plant, who was all on her own at the back post. Gertz did well. Herford in retreat had to hook it away. Set back for Gertz once more, who had Kerwood Wagner. She herself had Dara to go around and wins a corner. Heidelberg just hunting, just stealing the ascendancy right back. Perhaps potential Boroondara frustration, and perhaps more of it could be to come. Corner taken short, taken quickly. Sasaki, a dangerous one to the near post, and Mossman couldn't take any chances. Sasaki stood it up, and in fact the flag was up, it wouldn't have mattered. Kerwood Wagner, who was just wanting to make a nuisance, alongside Sio, and just straight offside. Again, goal kick falls short. Again, Kerwood Wagner is there. And again, Cooling came across. Hertz tried to clip it into a promising channel. It's Hereford. They try to work themselves out of a tight situation and do it well. Cooling. Savary Ryan. Broadbent was hustling her. She had no room to move in. And despite a few early breaks down the right-hand side, Broadbent has found a way, not to nullify, but to quiet Savary Ryan in the minutes since. Cooling looked long. Parker knew not much about it. Bidwell then came across. Clipped it for Plant. Hereford did well. Set it back for Vane. And now Cooling, who speared it into the channel and given Savary Ryan one to chase. Wild came across. Blocked the cross, but didn't prevent the corner. Boroondara's turn from a set piece. Can they find a way to get themselves ahead? First corner hit into a dangerous area. The flick-on's good and in. And Boroondara have turned it round. A brilliant corner. Put devilishly, dangerously into an area of uncertainty. And the finishing flick puts Boroondara ahead. They have flipped it right round. Fontes the final touch. It took a small deflection which helped it on its way. But the side in search of the league lead have themselves the lead on an important night, on a fixture which has been a banana skin for oh so long. Especially a goal down, they would have been thinking perhaps it could have thrown another spanner in early season works. And now Heidelberg have it to do. Wild gave it away. Higuchi stormed across, and Akiyama was there to mop up. Now Hyson. Broadbent. Akiyama got it back from Wild and was swarmed upon by Vane. Hyson with composure clipped it out for Bidwell. Now Heidelberg can have some joy. Kerwood Wagner. Dara just stood off momentarily, and Kerwood Wagner has breezed her way beyond. Parker in retreat did wonderfully to stop the cross and then clear her lines. It's Wild. On for Heisen. Wilds. Again, clipping for Seo in the channel, but Higuchi this time marshalled well. And was there just to see it out for a goal kick. Cooling out for Hereford, who gave Cooling one which was immediately pressed upon by Plants, and she had to clear. Heidelberg just not letting Boroondara out. Akiyama out the other way for Bidwell. Drilled low early for Seo. Higuchi came crashing through, finds its way to Seo via Akiyama. And now Kerwood Wagner. And a good block by Dara. Seo. Bidwell had to get out of a tight situation well. Still charged upon by Brunner. Now Wild, whose touch was heavy and it allowed Brunner to go in and win it. Wild then went and won it back. Akiyama, Bidwell. Akiyama on for Wild, whose touch was tidy. Fontes immediately swarmed upon her, as did Brunner, who won it back. Then Vane, and then Brunner again, and now Boroondara can go again. Brunner's beyond two, threaded for Savary Ryan, whose touch has forced her a fraction wider than she wanted. Set it back for Fontes, whose effort was fizzed for Parker, and nearly fell for Hereford at the back post, who got the final flick. This the closer to a smashing Saturday across the Senol National Premier League Victoria Women's. Avondale beat Melbourne City 5-0. Alamein got a massive win over Bentley Greens, especially as Bulleen toppled Essendon Royals. Earlier here today, it's been a super Saturday at the Veneto Club. And this, the curtain call of it, so far delivering in abundance. As Savary Ryan and Broadbent had a tumble. Kerwood Wagner dropped it off. Hertz then gave it away. It was a good read by Hereford, who steered it on for Parker. That's a lovely clip into the channel, but one with too much pace for Savary Ryan to be able to get on the end of. She has been making things happen, has Coco Parker. That's Wild, whose touch was loose, and Brunner belted it over. An excellent look. She had it break her way. And with the kind of form she's showcased so far this season, the next thing you expected was the net to ripple. Heidelberg blushes spared. As an excellent look for Boroondara goes begging. Brunner may not get a better look at a brace. As again, Savary Ryan wins off the goal kick. Heisen pressed by Parker, and the ball was belted at Broadbent in the end. Hereford with sharp feet. Set back for Bennett. Now Cooling, who went to switch for Fontes. Wild won it. Vane then battled, and at the second try, got it and found its way to Parker. Broadbent in retreat. Happy to hook it away. Hertz. Then warded off Bennett, who got it via Savary Ryan. Vane then lost out, and Heidelberg can break. Kerwood Wagner, Seo was charging. Dara cut it out and then nearly lost it. Seo spun out of trouble well. Akiyama helped it on its way. Sasaki Plant and Heidelberg have a corner. This a fantastic look at a leveller. Corner with depth. Wild was there. Higuchi got up. It fell momentarily for Plant, who on the slide tried to fire it, and Vane was happy to belt it away. Heidelberg still searching. Still looking for a way to get themselves level. Plant did well. Scho then dropped it off, and the ball was switched superbly for Kerwood Wagner, who couldn't get away around Dara but could win a corner. A succession of Heidelberg set pieces. Sasaki's take. Again with depth. They get it towards Wild. And blocked, and a scramble, and somehow they don't find the net. But they will reload once again. Wild completely unmarked. And her header blocked on the line. Heidelberg knocking on the door of a leveller. Sasaki again, speeded dangerously. And this time the header wide from a launching Wild, who came crashing through. Again left completely unmarked. A real issue for Boroondara. You get the feeling if she gets another look completely free of pressure, they might be made to pay for it. Herford, when searching down the line, and Savara Ryan refound her. Herford, who was on the overlap, wins a corner. Met the challenge from Hyson in retreat. And Boroondara, who already have one from a set piece, looking to add another and instate some breathing room before half time in what has been a topsy-turvy first half up until this point. Bennett's take, fist in again, and Parker was lurking. Wild nodded it away only as far as Brunner. A slide from Sasaki, found his way back for Bennett. It's worked intricately for Vane. Set back for Cooling, who went searching for Higuchi, but it's an easy one for Szeszelnicki to claim. And then fling for Bidwell. Kerwood Wagner. That's a lovely return and a tidy run from Bidwell, who is now charging. Cooling in retreat, read it marvellously, and ushered it expertly out of play. That is where Heidelberg have found a lot of joy so far down the flanks. Particularly going through Kerwood Wagner. Scho. Sasaki. Worked for Bidwell, whose early ball found its way all the way through for Hertz, who has steered it wide. My word, what a look. A golden opportunity to get Heidelberg level. Bidwell's early ball broke her way. Effort steered wide, just as Mossman was charging out to meet it. Savara-Ryan's been given one to chase. And has done well to apply the pressure and win a corner. And it will be Zoe Bennett's take. Today, he's looking to tee up another. Vane made an early dart. Again, it goes dangerously. And again, Szeszelnicki had to be alert. Solid punch. Just to deny an on-rushing back post runner, and now there's an injury. Too quickly over. Parker, one of them. And thankfully, Wild was the other, checking on the well-being. As that corner was set in, as Szeszelnicki went to punch it away. Fontes, who found Boroondara away in front, was collateral damage. Well, she seems to be all right. Kerwood Wagner couldn't clear beyond Dara. Vane's flick found Parker, who had to lunge and lost out to Bidwell. Hyson couldn't break beyond Vane, and now Parker, who's got room to roam. Hyson wanting to shut the door and did so to good effect. Throw finds Fontes. Parker, lovely sidestep. Bidwell then got across, and Boroondara have a corner. A succession of Bennett's set pieces. Boroondara looking for another cracking corner. Back post crowded. Bennett's take, it's sent with depth. Parker wasn't able to meet it. Fell for Higuchi. It's a brilliant sliding challenge to slow her up. It will be another corner. They will reload all over again. Akiyama just happy to slow her up and stop the cutback for two who were waiting. This time the move made early. Cooling claiming the front post. Vane a late runner. It is whipped in again towards Fontes. Cleared only as far as Brunner, whose effort was blocked and then cleared by Wild and helped on its way by Broadbent. Who only cleared as far as Higuchi. Bidwell forcing her to the corner. Couldn't re-find Brunner. Akiyama across the clear. Now Kerwood Wagner, who was dispossessed by Dara, who fancies a go herself, and it dipped devilishly on Szeszelnicki, who coolly claimed and then went quickly for Broadbent. Touched on well by Plant, and now Heidelberg can break. Sio is darting, Kerwood Wagner is at the back post, going all on her own, and Higuchi got a foot in and was cleared away one further. Wild just had to evade Parker momentarily. Broadbent. It's Hyson. And the clip nearly, and did so wild short. And now Brunner is charging, and Heisen had to go across and mop up. Wild with composure kept it alive, and then threaded it superbly for Sio, who dropped it off for Hertz, who clipped one for Bidwell, and Dara came across. Bidwell's throw, Kerwood Wagner. Again, Ekuchi not allowing her to get through. And again, Dara happy to send it anywhere. Kerwood Wagner's flick. Vane helped it on its way, as did Fontes. And now Parker, who has got around Heisen and is all on her own. Coco Parker with Broadbent in retreat, whose challenge was brilliant. Slowed up Parker, who was looking to cause mayhem. Clip for Kerwood Wagner. Brunner, Eguchi, now Brunner again. Parker was on the overlap. Threaded for Fontes instead. Whose effort is blazed over. Another look for her. And that's a decent look before half time to help Boroondara in state of buffer. Kerwood Wagner wanted to help it on its way for Sio, read well by Cooling. And Savary Ryan. Set back for Herford, whose thread was cut out by Hertz. Wanted to steer it into the channel, Cooling the only one present who couldn't get it beyond plant. And then Sio slipped away superbly, and Heidelberg might have a late look. Kerwood Wagner wanted the 1-2, and Herford was quickly in to make the challenge before Savary Ryan couldn't evade and keep in play. Sio again set for Kerwood Wagner. Dara with an untoward clearance, and Mossman came quickly charging to make sure it did not turn into a muddle. She gave Parker one to chase. Broadbent belted it away. And we are heading into just a singular minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half. An enthralling one, where Heidelberg found themselves in front through a Sasaki screamer before Boroondara, courtesy of two of their American trio, flipped this half on its head, and Vane was maybe wanting one more before the break. Set back for Heisen, who clipped it for Bidwell. Dara quickly across, and it was a good read. Brunner. Dara couldn't steer it for Parker. Wild happy to go back for Sheshelnitsky. Heisen. And that will be that for the late of late kickoffs on Saturday night. Heidelberg took the lead through a stunning strike, courtesy of Aya Sasaki. But Boroondara, chasing top of the table, have turned it right round before the break. Half-time at the Veneto Club. It's Boroondara 2, Heidelberg 1. Return from half-time at the Veneto Club in Bulleen. A brilliant first half, a seesawing first half between Boroondara and Heidelberg. Heidelberg hit the front through a truly, truly special Sasaki strike. But a pair of Boroondara goals, one from each of their American girls, has them 2-1 up at half-time. A couple of changes to report at the break. We will get them to you once we have confirmation. But for now, we are back underway, and one of those changes, immediate for Boroondara. Genevieve Fontes, who took a bit of a knock towards the end of the first half, is subbed off for Elise Cook, who comes off the bench, as she has done many a time so far this season. She's been a youth substitute in every game so far in 2026. Hoping to provide some spark, hoping to provide energy as well. And one change for Heidelberg too. Nali Plant makes way for Teodora Duric. As Cook was introduced almost immediately. Boroondara wanting a breakneck start to this second half. A game and a fixture, really, which has been a bit of a goal fest throughout its time. 59 goals in 11 games prior to kick-off tonight. You can chalk that up to 62-12 now. And we still have an entire half of football to go. Never fraught of free-flowing attacking football, and that was the case in the first half. And Heidelberg had many an opportunity to get themselves level. Boroondara to stretch their legs further. As it stands, they go back to the top of the table. And they go 5 wins from 5. They leapfrog Box Hill United once again, who did their bit last night, to be fair to them. Clearance only finds Parker, who got around Sasaki and then tried to poke it on for a hurtling Brunner. Heisen had to come across in the end and make the challenge. And then a quickly flinging throw for Juric, who couldn't quite re-find her. Juric once again. And now Sasaki. Had Hertz charging momentarily. Set it back for Akiyama. Now Heisen. Akiyama, who was allowed to turn. And then tried to spread and spray, but only found Brunner, who has options charging, one of whom is Vane. She had options left and right. Parker, Brunner wanted to help it on its way for Cook. And it's cleared across by Heisen. The leaders in this game wanting to put themselves beyond sight. Brunner warded off. And again, Wild did well to come across and then crashed it away. Wanted Kerwood Wagner. And it's a good retreat from Higuchi, who went out the other way to Hereford. Now Vane. Dropped it off for Cooling. Higuchi. Lovely charge to break the line. Juric dived in. Vane then came and made it work. Hereford on for Savarirayan, who was hustled and then beaten off it by Broadbent, who steered it on for Juric. It was slightly behind Hertz, and that allowed Hereford to get a foot on it. Akiyama kept it rolling. Sasaki. Kerwood Wagner the other way. Fizzed the ball across. There was not a runner obliging at the back post. Worth mentioning, it would continue with the Veneto Club being a relatively happy hunting ground if they were to win tonight for Boroondara. They picked up 16 of their 29 points at home. Many an emphatic victory came here. the moment they've been perfect on this turf in 2026 as Brunner has got beyond Bidwell, but the ball has run out of room before she can go parading down the wing. Akiyama and returned it to Bidwell, and again Parker was pressing and wanting to pick Akiyama's pocket and gave away a free kick while doing so. Maybe a little bit too overzealous when trying to win it back. That Heidelberg will be hoping just take some sting of what's been a very, very quickly started second half. They've been under the pump defensively. Wild take two as the ball was rolling at the first try. Hyson. Pressed by Cook, threaded the line for Seo. Herford got a foot on it. Fell for Parker. Bennett, and then helped it for Vane, and it's a smashing ball and a brilliant piece of keeping by Sheshelnitsky, who cleared only as far as Vane, who wanted to keep the move rolling. Hertz read it well and prevented it from finding Parker. Kerwood Wagner went down the line, wanting Juric. Higuchi read it well. Throwing again for Hertz. Broke it way off Brunner, but her touch was a little bit loose. Kerwood Wagner, who had Dara to go round and wins a corner. The first real set-piece look at the second half. Suzaki's take, again with height, again wanting Wild. Parker tried to hook it away, it nearly fell for Juric, and now it does for Brunner, who had Cook charging in the channel. She's now got Bidwell to go at and has two streaming forward alongside. Ball a fraction behind Savara-Ryan, who tried to keep the move rolling. And fell for Herford. Parker helped it in the channel for Savara-Ryan, who wins a corner. Good defensive retreat from Akiyama and from Broadbent. And Savara-Ryan, who was at the double last week, has been kept rather quiet so far this evening. Has had a couple of bursting runs, but has been unable to cause the same headaches as she did to Preston. Bennett's corner. Again to the near post, they got a flick. It nearly fell for Vane, and Hyson had to hammer it away. Shouts for a penalty turned away. Vane in a crowded conglomeration. In Boroondara's eyes, the recipient of contact. Officials not quite agreeing. And here is Vane once more. This time warded down the line. For Boroondara, if it stays this way, it's a victory quite some time in the waiting. Their only to date league victory over Heidelberg, all the way back to May 2023, nearly 3 calendar years, in a 5-4 thriller. Heidelberg looking to continue it that way. It's good defending from Dara, who just closed the door on Kerwood Wagner as she wanted to charge. And of course, on the flip side of that, it would compound a less than ideal start on the road in 2026 away for Heidelberg. A 4-0 defeat at Box Hill and a 2-2 draw. So only one of their 2 points picked up on their travels, the other against South Melbourne. A side who, despite all their success in years gone by at the moment, just struggling a little bit. And hoping to kick into gear at some point soon. As again, Kerwood Wagner drives. Sasaki tried to set it back, and now Bennett, who had options available for a break, was held up by Wild and wins a free kick. Gucci went searching for Brunner. That's a lovely flick from Bidwell to evade with such balance and such flair. Out of a really tricky situation. And now Hyson. Broadbent. Nearly lost out to Savarirayan. Hyson happy to let it go all the way back. Sheshelnitsky. Wild. Juric. Had it picked off by Parker. And now Heidelberg go to press. Kerwood Wagner leading the charge. Mossman cool. Savarirayan couldn't steer it on for Bennett, who gives away a free kick. One too many ago, trying to get it back off of Akiyama. This may be an opportunity for Heidelberg. Hyson sent it for Wild. It's a good win up from Dara. Flicked further away by Brunner. And now Bidwell enticing. And Higuchi headed away. Dara and Juric then battling. Parker was unable to spin. Akiyama did well. And then sent it for Sio, whose touch was tidy. Sasaki for Broadbent. And Savarirayan did well. Throw in quickly. Heidelberg in a hurry. Sio with a lovely flick. Akiyama was one option. Sasaki with another. Found its way back to Sio. Good foot from Bennett and from Vane. 1-2 with Parker. Eventually found its way through. And now Boroondara can break. Savarirayan charging. Has Hyson to beat. Worked a yard on the left foot. And curled the effort just wide. Almost blistering on the break from Boroondara again. It was a counter that, despite taking some time to get going, was cracking once it hit full flow. They are getting closer to a third goal, one which would allow them to breathe easier. It's a loose touch from Broadbent. She recovered in time and then spun Savarirayan. Wasn't able to steer it for Kerwood Wagner. Juric wanted a whistle. Did Herford, and it finally did come. And now there will be a change. Heidelberg going to shuffle the pack again, as they did at half-time. The evening for Rosie Wild comes to an end. And Alyssa Salesi makes her introduction. Two changes as they still search for a way back into this game. Broadbent. A shout for handball waved away. Kerwood Wagner worked a yard down the line. Broadbent then went there. She just halted the run, Cooling there to clean up. All the way from Mossman. Cooling. Vane, oh, it's a sharp turn. Evaded pressure with the utmost poise, and then went out the other way. Darrow with room to go. Tried to steer it in the channel, it was well mopped up. And now Akiyama could lead the Heidelberg break. Broke the line for Juric, and now on for Kerwood Wagner, who's got Herford to go at. Kerwood Wagner, Sasaki, teasing cross, nodded away. Only as far as Akiyama. Parker tried to slow her. Juric kept the move alive for Heidelberg. Wanted Sio, who just about kept it in. And then pass played it out. Boroondara still continuing the search for a first clean sheet in the new season. With that being said, only Alamein have a better defensive record than they did so far this season. There's Heisen. Wanted Kerwood Wagner. That was beautifully done by Herford. Now on to Savara Ryan, who couldn't steer it beyond Broadbent and did the second time. Herford had continued for a 2, and the return in the channel was cut out well. Sasaki happy to drop it off. Heisen, sharp turn by Akiyama, who adjusted admirably and then speared it on for Sio. A leg dangled in retreat by Dara, and a Heidelberg free kick. Now this a really good look. Centre half send forward. Broadbent the only one back. Bidwell acting as a buffer should it break for Brunner. But Heidelberg have an opportunity to get themselves back on level terms, having just nicked the momentum. A free kick hammered into the wall, and then Parker cleared. Hertz unable to beat the Boroondara blockade. Heidelberg still hunting. Still searching for a second and a leveller. Can they find it? Nodded away by Vane. Only as far as Broadbent, who was hustled upon and then lost out. And now Brunner can go, and Boroondara can spring on the counter. Option central and the far post. Steered it on for Parker, and it's a brilliant piece of defending. Superb to stop Parker from Salesi. Otherwise, that may well have been the buffer that Boroondara had been searching for. Hertz, Heisen, Salesi, Akiyama. Had Parker to evade. Tried to poke it for Sio. Noguchi did well. Bennett. Savary Ryan. Had Brunel, who darted in the channel and then evaded Heisen. Still Brunner. Steered it for Savary Ryan, who kept it alive. Heidelberg trying to hold firm. Brunner with a sharp turn. And an effort which momentarily was a heart-in-mouth moment for Sheshelnitsky, who had to retreat with haste and gather. Otherwise, that could have been quite an unfortunate blunder for her. And here she is again. One a lot calmer to take in. Hyson. Threaded for Akiyama, who then speared it for Sio. That's a smashing ball as well. And a lovely touch to get around Dara. And all of a sudden, Sio's in, stumbled on the strike, and fired it wide of the near post. Just at the crucial moment. The move broke down for Heidelberg just when they were in. And it's for a side as well who have not found the net with frequency. Urich was played onside momentarily. Gucci slow to get back. Dara, Vane, who evaded brilliantly. Parker then lost out. Her pocket picked by Akiyama. Urich set it on for Sio, who stood it up to the back post. Kerwood Wagner was lurking. Who's still alive for Heidelberg? Herford's challenge was good. She had 2 to go around and couldn't quite do so. Only multiple scorers once in 2026. Only Keeler Park, Melbourne City and Alamein have scored fewer. Bad omen for Heidelberg United. 2 of those teams are in and around them in the table. Still too early to talk about a rugged relegation battle for this side, who were so good last season. Though it is just starting to make its way into the periphery. They do have a corner, however. And a good chance to get themselves right back on term. Gertz's take. Short and reset. Shout for handball. Penalty. The glimmer they were looking for. Corner taken short, taken quickly. Boroondara caught out. And Heidelberg have a chance to level from the spot. Kerwood Wagner given the responsibility. Heidelberg, who had been on the back foot, who had been searching. Kerwood Wagner scores, and they are right back level. A pressure penalty dispatched with poise, and Heidelberg are right back where they want to be. Composed. Finished with certainty. Kerwood Wagner, who has made a goal scoring habit this season. Her 3rd of the campaign. And as it stands for Heidelberg, one of their most important. They have ripped it right back from Boroondara, who now have to go out and get it if they want 3 points. Bennett. It's a brilliant challenge from Gertz. His ball in was the one which hit an arm and won a penalty. Herford wanted Brunner, now Savarirayan was able to spin Hyson, but not Broadbent, who helped it on for Kerwood Wagner, who has then got away and is now charging on Bennett. Away from Cooling, they went to thread it through, and Dara was diligent. Quickly shifted for Cook and then given away. Gertz. Sasaki, not beyond Parker, who wants to counter the other way. A lovely bit of footwork, away from 2, away from 3. And then out the other way for Savarirayan, who gave Brunner one to chase in the channel, and she'll get there. The angle too tight at the near post for her to lash one worryingly. But it was pristine from Coco Parker. Fanciful footwork. Just opened up a yard for herself. And opened up a counter for Boroondara, who would have been the perfect remedy, having conceded merely moments before. Hyson, Kerwood-Wagner. Had to reset for her captain, who's given it away to Vane. And Boroondara can break. Cook had options left and right, one of whom was Brunner. And Senol took no chances. Didn't know whom the deflection was off. She looked long. Juric. Vane intervenes. And now Parker, who steps around Akiyama. Brunner with a deft touch on for Bennett, who worked a yard for herself. A good challenge from Hyson. Vane kept it moving. Around Gertz. Vane fancied a hit. And Senol gathered coolly. Another Boroondara barrage seen out. Cooling with a loose touch, forced to concede. Akiyama got it back from Sasaki, and then ran out of room while trying to go down the line. The question now, who wants to go and win it? It could be crucial for both of these team seasons. It would be a first victory of the campaign for Heidelberg. And such a vital 3 points. Boroondara know it would take them top. Heidelberg, though, it would take them above Preston. It would take them to within a point of Essendon. And just to a much happier look upon the table. At the moment, they sit merely under a win off the bottom two. That would steer them away from that stormy shore. If it stays this way for Boroondara, a point is enough to go top once more. But you doubt they will be neither satiated nor satisfied. That were to be the outcome, as Dara hammered it away. Gave Salesi one to chase. And the press was sharp from Brunner. And then one back by Savirayan, who is charging through on her own. A brilliant challenge. It then breaks for Brunner, who steers her effort over. Heidelberg not helping their cause. And Boroondara bustling for a way back into the lead once again. Hyson. On for Salesi. Now Bidwell. Salesi, who smashed it in the channel. So there were protests that she was given a pull back by Dara. Much to some Heidelberg disgruntlement. They'll have to settle for a throw-in instead of a free kick. Bidwell wanted Gertz, broke for Juric. And Dara. Bidwell. Gertz. Cooling closed it down. Again, only could clear to Bidwell. Akiyama. Clipped it into the channel. And Dara had to clear. Heidelberg taking their time with the throw. as Gertz. So, wanted to flick for Juric. Belted away by Higuchi. Parker gave press, broke for Seo instead. Now Broadbent. Kerwood Wagner. Got away from Herford, lovely ball as well. Might break for Juric. And Cooling had to battle not once but twice and then clear. Parker given something to chase, and Bennett's ball much too heavy for Brunner to try and make the most of. Salesi. Went searching in the channel, and Dara happy to hook it out of play. Still, these two lock level. Still, they go on the search for a winner. Heidelberg have the territory. They have the momentum. There is a real grit and desire to continue Boroondara's misery in this fixture. Still, it stands at a singular win. And following that, the Eagles had only picked up 1 point in 5. How they would love to make it 1 in 6. Kerwood Wagner can set it back. Vane hammered her clearance into Gertz. Salesi nodded it on for Seo. Vane was there to mop up. And then evades Sasaki. And then spear one for Brunner, who nodded it on for Parker. A good retreating challenge from Salesi. And then a brilliant read from Herford. And maybe Boroondara can spring on the break. Savara wanted Herford, who had overlapped and kept it alive just about. Clearance found Juric, who got it through the legs of Bennett. Kerwood Wagner had one to chase. Cooling did well, not only to evade one, but to evade two. Bennett. Savara who touched beyond Broadbent. And kept charging and steered it centrally. An awkward clearance, shouts for handball. Those of which are waved away. It's a lazy gesture that it was off the shoulder. So, now Sasaki. Game's become stretched and Heidelberg have got the yards. Kerwood Wagner. They work their way round. Akiyama couldn't find Seo and it breaks down. The tension palpable at the Veneto club. Both sides hunting for a priceless 3 points at this stage. If someone were to go and pinch it right at the end. Kerwood Wagner tried to get up. It broke the way of Parker, whose footwork was precise, and now she can charge. Wanted to draw another challenge. Herford, Savary who's got beyond Broadbent and couldn't keep it alive. Hyson. On for Salesi. You cannot take your eyes off it. Both of these sides pushing desperately for a win. A substitution being prepared. Heidelberg making a change. And Salesi. They work it well. Seo with a charging run. Higuchi had come across and then had to clear her lines. Salesi happy to reset. And Parker was pressing and they just about evade it. Hyson. Salesi helped it on, but only as far as Vane. Cook clipped it for Parker. who spun and worked the yards, but her effort was rather tamed in the end. Boroondara yet to go to the bench. Only 2 changes they made last week. Perhaps a substitute being prepared. In the meantime, Heidelberg will be able to make their change. The night's over for Aya Sasaki, who got this all going with a perler. A sensational strike. And she is replaced for the closing stint by Marika Shua. Problem for Selezi. Again, forced back to Sheshelnitsky. Selezi. Juric. Bidwell. Threaded it down the line, gave still one to chase. Cooling came across, and the challenge was good. Flicked on by Akiyama. Iguchi helped it on its way. Selezi under it. Akiyama again. Vane came crunching through. And for it, Heidelberg have a free kick in a real position of promise. And there will be a change being prepped for Boroondara as well in the meantime. Their first look at the bench for the night. But before they get a look at it, Heidelberg have a free kick and a really, really good opportunity to go and snatch it. Sent towards Mossman, and it's an easy gather. Mossman wanted an option, was starved of them. Give Savara Ryan one to chase. Gertz got up. Again, Savara Ryan had Herford further back, went through the legs of Kerwood Wagner to find it. And she was pressed upon by Broadbent. It will be a Heidelberg throw. And now that substitution can be made. They've had to wait some time, but there will be the change. And Priya Savara-Ryan's evening comes to an end. A late change, a late roll of the dice. Potentially, possibly, a way to go on and win it. Introduction for Emily Lewis. Could she be the one to flip this game on its head? Both are crying out for a winner. Both are crying out for a moment of magic to give them their salvation, even in this early season stage. So, again, got it away from Darrett. Juric made the run in the channel. Stood up well by Higuchi, who wins a free kick and relieves the pressure that had been mounting. So long towards Brunner, found its way to Parker. Kua couldn't turn, and now Vane, whose sidestep was tidy. Set it back for Dara. And Vane lost out on that occasion. Marika Chua just came across. Dara's long throw. Wanted Parker to find a flick. Cleared away by Salesi. They will reload once more. Parker. Set it back for Brunner, who worked it on and had a hit! And had it fly agonisingly wide of the far post. The closest Boroondara have come for some time, though. They have had to withstand the Heidelberg storm. Set long towards Juric. Broadbent. Heisem. Couldn't get it beyond Bennett, who belted it into Gertz. Flicked on by Kerwood Wagner. Salesi. Helped only as far as Herford's. Juric dove in. Brunner wanted to keep it rolling and then couldn't quite find the return. Akiyama then gave it away and Herford ran out of room while trying to sort her feet out. Broadbent's quick throw. Juric. Heidelberg with haste wanting to get things going. That's a good touch from Bennett, who was cool under pressure. Brunner then wanted it in the channel, and it was given with too much force, allowing Akiyama to win it. Juric. Chua. Koa Wagner's touch was loose. Herford went and won it, and then her and Broadbent collided with one another. Chua had to drop it off for Salesi. Now Akiyama, who will be the one to find a way. Broadbent belted it in the channel, gave Juric one to chase. Iguchi across. Now Lewis, whose turn was lovely, and she's got beyond Broadbent. Central was Parker, whose touch was a little loose and invited Heisen to clear. Herford lunged and kept it alive, only just. Threaded for Parker. Oh, it's a brilliant spin. And Boroondara have a corner. A real look for them now. The first time they beat Heidelberg, it was a thriller. A goal from this corner would get them oh so close to doing it again in similar fashion. It is Bennett's take. Set with depth. Iguchi was round the back. Heisen got the telling header. Juric and Brunner in hot pursuit of one another. Brunner went and won it. Now Dara. Tidy 1-2. Vane. Brunner couldn't continue, and now Heidelberg can break. Momentarily they were 4-on-3. Juric asked a lot of Kerwood Wagner, and Cooling was there to mop up and put what could have been a worrying counter to an end, and Brunner was coming a long way back from an offside position. How much longer do we have beyond this 90? That will be the question on everybody's lips. As Heidelberg charge, Juric in the channel. Wanted to stand it up. Higuchi had to head away. Heidelberg prepping another change. They wanted handball against Cook. It then fell for Vane, who evaded Akiyama well. Herford, who is hurtling. And Boroondara are breaking. Lewis couldn't get beyond Broadbent, who showed composure and class. Gertz steered it down the line. Kerwood Wagner, 3 minutes of stoppage time for either of these teams to find a winner. And Heidelberg will head to the bench again. Another substitution in the offing. Sio making her way off. Her night is done. And Razumic is she to be the one to find a winning moment? Gertz. Again, Vane wins in well. This time able to get away from Razumic. And Dara on for Cook, who's twisting and turning and looking for an angle to find Brunner, which he finds. Set back for Vane. Boroondara searching. Herford back for Bennett. Now Lewis. Wanted to clip for Parker. So Lazy came across. Parker's down. Behind play. Cooling came crashing through. Parker clutching her shoulder. Still play resumes. Cooling. Lewis. Have Boroondara got some bite late on? It's a good challenge, and then a slide from Akiyama, who stifled it out. Juric. Cooling's challenge was firm, and Vane's touch was loose, and now Juric can break. And Kazumic was the run, although Dara had marshalled it well. But Mossman was forced to clear. Throw wanted for Razumic. Cleared away by Dara. And though with the stop in play, Coco Parker's well-being can be checked on. Dying moments of a Saturday night stunner. And you get the feeling, even if it's just a precaution, Boroondara are prepping a change. And in fact they are. The evening for Coco Parker is done. She will make way through injury. Boroondara forced into a change later than they would have wanted. Still having to hold out and either protect the point they have or go for all three. Throw in taken just too quickly, as Simone Vass had just made her way on. Heidelberg hunting a winner for their first of the season. Flicked off Juric. Gucci up and away. It's lofted towards Cohen Wagner, who was offside. And Boroondara feel that this might be their look. Herford with haste, and they are ready for one last late lunge, perhaps. Sent for Bennett, nodded on by Gertz, and that will be that. Heidelberg, who have struggled, found a way in the second half to claw themselves level. Kerwood Wagner composed from the penalty spot after Boroondara gifted Heidelberg a spot kick. Another point on their travels. Boroondara return to the top of the table, though it is points drop for them for the first time this campaign. Full time at the Veneto Club from a Saturday night classic. It's Boroondara 2, Heidelberg 2.